Okay, I'd like to call the Village Plan Commission meeting to order. Roll call, please, Terry.
Mary Kodowski.
Here.
Jim Allen.
Present.
Allison Williams.
Here.
Mike Skippington.
Here.
Corey Campbell.
Here.
Gary Paul.
Here.
And Kabaki's excused.
Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it is one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
And please remember all our men and women throughout the world in uniform. I have no changes to the agenda. I need motion to approve.
Move to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, action on the minutes from the Plan Board meeting for October 6, 2020.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda, must state name and address, limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel items cannot be discussed nor individuals named, and the board is not able to take action. Any comments from the public? Hearing none, we'll move on. Number 7, action items. 7A, action regarding a requested two-lot certified survey map for parcels VA-L197-11 and VA-L197-6 on Sand Acres Drive. Aaron?
Okay, the requested certified survey map along Sand Acres Drive really is it's a cleanup, just a kind of a technical deal required by Brown County due to some just kind of a snafu in the past, what it comes down to. If you look on the county's GIS website, it does show up as 2 lots right now. I'll bring those up on screen just so you can see them. What the proposed CSM does basically is go through the technical process to further verify this 2-lot certified survey map here between Highland Ridge Properties LLC and the Batons to the south. So the 2 lots don't technically exist yet, but they kind of do. The CSM kind of verifies and goes through the process and formalizes the 2 lots that already exist. The comments we received from village staff are rather technical in nature. Just reminding the property owners that that utilities do not exist for those 2 lots right now. Any extension of utilities would be on at their cost. Also, that the A&R pipeline does run through the property, and any construction on the area would need to be coordinated with A&R as far as locates, things like that. As far as recommended conditions of approval, just a couple really technical items, just a couple typos and minor changes from Brown County to Village of Ashwaubenon. And then just notes or conditions, again, letting the owners know that they're responsible for utility connections and costs, and to contact the A&R pipeline prior to any construction. In addition, I should note that both properties are entirely within the 100-year floodplain. So construction on those 2 properties would be problematic at best without any fill. So additional approvals would be needed from Ashwaubenon, the DNR, and FEMA before any new construction could take place on those lots. I believe Marty? Yep, Marty's here from McMahon Associates. If you have any technical questions for him, otherwise I can certainly answer any questions for you as well.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
This was brought up, I think you may have answered it, Aaron, about Zorn water. There's nothing on those properties
That's correct.
because we had to bring it to, I believe, the last home that was built there. I'm assuming that's still owned by the Batons yet?
Yes.
Okay. So by cleaning this up, that means I can go catch my golf balls when I hit them over there?
I believe so.
Okay, well, that's all I need to know then. Move to approve certified survey parcel VA-L-197-11 and VA-11-197-6 on Sand Acres Acres.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Did you want to include in your motion, Gary, with the conditions of approval?
Yes.
And you also, Jim? Yeah, okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve with the conditions of approval. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 7B, action on requested site plan review regarding proposed accessory structure for Zorn Compressor at 733 Mike McCarthy Way, parcel VA-66-4-2-A. Aaron?
Zorn Compressor is an existing business within the village on Mike McCarthy Way. Has reached kind of capacity as far as some of their storage. What they'd like to do is add a 10 by 20 storage shed to their property. You can see up on the screen, this is Zorn Compressor right here. They'd like to place the shed back here a little bit. Because it's within the Sports Entertainment District, it does need to be reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission as well as the Village Board. Site Plan Review Committee did recommend approval at their earlier meeting. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
That one was a tough one to approve. It is a shed. We're trying to clean up that area, and are we adding more to it? I know they need storage. I mean, we can't back away from what a customer needs, but it is a storage shed. That's all it's going to be used for. There's no utilities in it. I was trying to get it to the back of the building, so it would be hidden from the street, but that's impossible because of snow removal is what their excuse was. I would prefer somebody else making a motion on it.
Okay. Anybody else want to discuss anything on this?
I agree, cleaning up the area, but you gotta hide it to protect, to clean it, you know? I don't see an issue. I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the requested accessory structure up to 10 by 20 at 733 Mike McCarthy Way with staff conditions.
Second.
Second it, but do you wish to speak?
Okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, so we have a second by Allison Williams, a motion by Allison Williams, a second by Corey Campbell. Any further discussion? What I'd like to say is, I agree with Gary that this is an area that we want to get it cleaned up, but this also is an area that has current business, and the businesses have to be able to operate, and they need the storage. I'm sure that the outside of it's going to be looking okay, so anyway.
All we can hope for is that they just keep expanding and they decide to get out of that area and move into our industrial park someplace, and then we'll clean that up.
Excuse me. Okay, so the gentleman just said that is the plan, but, okay. So, but yeah, they need the storage, and like I said, I guess I feel it's an existing business, and they have to be able to operate, so. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. 7C, action regarding site plan review for proposed senior housing and townhome development at 680 block of Mike McCarthy Way, parcel VA-56-4-1. Aaron?
Okay, this is a proposed senior housing, affordable senior housing project on Mike McCarthy Way. As you can see on the screen, there's a rendering. To the north is Mike McCarthy Way with the senior apartment housing right here. This is Borvan Avenue. And these actually are two-story, roughly 1,400 square foot townhomes that are also affordable, but they are not age restricted. So those, someone as young as Mike Skiffington could live in these as well. We're in good shape there. The proposal is currently in negotiations with the village board for a development agreement. So any discussion or I guess recommended approval for the project would be contingent on village board approval of a development agreement. And this is a WIDA tax credit project. So they are applying for the WIDA tax credits in mid-December. One of the reasons they want to go forward with site plan review at this time is that so when they do apply for the tax credits on the application, it demonstrates that the project basically is a shovel-ready project. In terms of the site plan, the project largely it complies with our exterior design materials. It's a mixture of metal wall panels, masonry, windows, so on and so forth. One of the concerns that was discussed at Site Plan Review Committee is potential for noise from the trucking company, as well as potentially from the entertainment district further to the west. That was discussed. The applicant provided some information about how they plan to attenuate some of the noise through different construction techniques, landscaping, as well as fencing along the eastern boundary. The applicant, Sig Stroutmanis from General Capital, is here to answer questions. Other than happy to answer questions as well. I should mention one more thing. We did have a discussion with Sig about some covered parking. Discussion I had earlier today with Jay Krieger, and that is something that they're certainly taking a look at and trying to figure out ways to incorporate carports or somehow incorporate some covered parking in there.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Aaron?
You're saying you're going to have him look at covered parking?
Correct.
That's the first thing that jumped out at me, because said you're going to put senior citizens in here and we're going to snow on the cars and they're going to come out and have a real good time. I just, when it said there's no underground parking, there's no thought that putting parking on the first floor at all, you know.
Right. Well, basically, there's shallow groundwater here,
I
which was a
understand
big
the reason
issue.
why you can't do
Right.
it. It's just down. I'm just saying if I'm a senior citizen and I'm going to go out and shovel snow off my car, my thoughts of going to your property got one red check mark on it, okay? That's all.
Understood. And basically, we have done carports at other projects, and basically the carports take care of 99% of the issues, which are exactly those: snow on the cars, ice on the cars. And if you do attractive, there are these prefab carports that come in different profiles, different roof shapes, things like that, and they're brightly lit, so they're nice and safe. And basically, we're looking at the site plan and some of the interior parking, and maybe some of the parking that's closer to the walkways by the entries and things like that we could put carports there. And so we think that take care of, any concerns that seniors would have. And it's all, again, the carports would be on the interior, so they wouldn't be visible, from the street, basically from the major streets. They'd happen in that interior court area.
The parking is going to be, if I'm in apartment 1, that's my parking spot, and don't park in it, one of those things?
Yeah,
Okay.
the carport spots would be assigned, yes.
They're going to be assigned.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, carports, I don't like them. They're not maintained. I guess the only way I'd go along with that idea, if it's a custom-built one that everybody can use. I've seen too many carports in some senior living facilities. They were no more than a tin roof with a couple beams going down to the ground. Each one had their own separate one. a good wind would blow it away. I really don't care to see anything like that. Something I missed in site plan, on the ground floor of the complex looking towards Holgram, or McCarthy Way.
Yeah.
You got fitting room, leasing, and commercial.
Correct.
I guess, we didn't discuss that. What is the future there?
Sure. Basically, the village's intent with the ground floor of these buildings is that there's activity at the ground floor on the street side. So basically, half of the space is the fitness and the club room, kind of our community spaces for our seniors. We have the leasing and the business office that also face Mike McCarthy. And the corner, the commercial space, will be a community serving facility. And basically, it has to meet certain guidelines, but we're talking right now, we have a nonprofit that will basically be a service provider that will go in there. It'll be a commercial office space, basically. So the idea is that the ground floor has full storefront glass, full commercial, character at the ground level.
So it will be available to the public, whoever would like to lease it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they have to meet certain.
Sig, could I have you talk into the
I'm
mic?
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No problem. It's a little more nuanced than that. The answer is yes, but they have to meet certain technical requirements. And we're seeking the right tenant for that space.
Okay, I understand
But the
that.
answer is yes. It'd be an outside, it wouldn't be us, it'd be an outside group that would be leasing that space.
Okay, okay. We had quite a discussion at site plan. Noise was a thought, because we've had meetings on this already, and we were concerned about the trucking company to the east. I disagreed with the people that didn't like it, because we need something to get going on Holgram Way. Keep saying Holgram Way, I'm on the wrong street. On Mike McCarthy, we got too many coaches in this community. Anyway, we need something going on Mike McCarthy. It's probably hopefully the second building that would be going up there, knowing we got something hopefully going up across the street. There's been entertainment of a hotel, I think, that kind of went away with the COVID. A few things did away with that because of the pandemic, but these people know what they're doing. They wouldn't be investing their money in this if they didn't know what they were doing. So I am fully in favor of something that we've all been talking about many, many years in this village of affordable housing. I think this is the first step in getting something here and being of value to this neighborhood. So I would be in full support of it.
Can you give an idea of rents? What's the rents? Affordable?
Yeah, I can. And again, these are not entirely set yet. But the rents may range from under $400 for one bedroom. Again, these are based on income guidelines. So it could be as little as under $400, and then the most expensive units will be just over $1,000.
This is Section 8 housing?
No, it's not Section 8, it's Section 42. So, yeah, the difference there, which I think is an important one, I'm glad you brought it up, is that basically in the Section 8 program, the residents would get a subsidy that would help pay their rent on a monthly basis. That in this program, what happens is that we get tax credits on the front end, and we end up getting an investor, major investor like a U.S. bank, NEF, major corporate investor, that buy those tax credits, and then we buy down the cost of the project. Okay. Therefore, the mortgage is lower, and then we can afford to charge lower rents. But everyone is paying their own rent. It's a very different program than I call your low-income type of project. Right. It's considered a moderate kind of moderate income senior project.
You don't say anything with I'm buying it and rent it out game day, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's close enough that it could be like over here at Titletown.
Short-term rental.
You can't rent it out to someone who's going to rent it out to somebody else.
Oh, yeah, correct. No, basically, every unit gets certified and qualified. And we're also, and I make this point a lot, that there's a lot of oversight in these properties because basically we do inspections and things like that because we just want to make sure that they're run really tightly and without issues. So you just can't, there can be no shenanigans like that.
On-site manager?
Yes, this is big enough for an on-site manager, correct, yep.
I'd go with you. I'd say don't put the carports up, and you want to live there, that's one thing you're going to have to face, that you don't have something over your car or cars, and when it snows, you're going to be out there taking it off. So I'd lean away from the carport thing, too.
That's up to the person that's going to rent there. Why are we concerned about it, of that? They're building a nice piece of property here, and I don't want to see no tin shelters. That's that simple.
Any more questions, discussions?
Pardon?
Any more questions or discussion?
Has site plan reviewed these extra requests that just showed up on Monday? For different siding requests?
No, that's for a different project. That's not for this project, that's for the Oak Ridge project.
Never mind.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Now, I will make a motion to approve the proposed senior housing and townhome development with the
Stipulation.
condition
Okay,
that the carports be built custom and sturdy.
do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No, the one question I do have to ask is that, do you want to stipulate that the carports need to be built custom? I don't know that. I don't know anything about carports, so. Or do we just want to say that we want sturdy overhead?
I would say probably
I think sturdy, yeah, I think the highest level, I remember this because I know that they've had them at other complexes, and we have terrible wind loads in this village. If anybody's been in it, it's unbelievable, actually. So I would say as sturdy as possible.
Okay,
Aaron, would this have to come back through the site plan if they were going to do something like this?
not if it's a stipulation or condition of approval. Basically, we'd bring it, we'd review it at staff level.
Okay.
Yeah, so we definitely do the internal review on it, make sure it meets wind loads, everything else for permitting purposes.
Okay.
Okay, you understand where we're going with it.
Okay, so do you want to amend that motion then, Corey, to take out the custom-built wording?
Yes, I would amend that to remove custom built, just to the satisfaction of our staff in terms of what it would meet for engineering purposes for
Okay.
sturdiness.
And Gary, you're good with that second?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Does everybody understand it?
Gary, you're okay with the carport thing?
Yeah. Gary?
Yes.
You're okay with the carport thing? Because I'd rather see it not go in, period, with the build the building, don't put the carports in. Which way do you want to go?
I don't mind having a carport if that's what the customers are going to ask, their customers meaning. If they're going to go look at this, questions are going to be asked, and I'm sure, where's my garage? Where's my carport? They're going to have to answer these questions. They may get enough people to say, well, I'd really like this property, but I prefer to have something for a shelter of a car. That's going to be a determination for them, do they want to do it or not.
So I'm going back to it. Do we put the motion in with the carport or put the motion in without the carport? But then what happens in the future if it comes back? They would have to come back and get an approval to put
Well, if
carports
it's
in?
gonna come
if
down to
it's
that,
not part of the original building?
I would say not have a carport, and they'll have to come back and then go through the chain, the command.
And show the rendition, and this is what it's
Go
going to
through the
look like,
order
et cetera,
of
et
doing it
cetera.
if
So
they
leave it out and come back.
All right, all right.
Okay, so Aaron, I have a question. Is it
Okay.
easier to leave it out? Or is it easier to leave it there and just, if they decide not to do it, they don't do it?
I guess it would come down to, and again, I'm not, there's, a motion, a second on the floor, so it's a little difficult to figure out where you want to go with it from here. I think if you want to leave them out, and General Capital looks at it and says, you know what, we think there's a market that's going to require the carport, I can certainly bring it back for review by Site Plan Review Committee, Plan Commission, and Village Board. So again, it has to go through all three review levels as an amendment basically to an approved site plan.
Okay.
Aaron, isn't there something in the books regarding, I don't know if it applies to this, but I do know if you're building a home, you need a garage.
Correct.
Yep. Yep,
But apartments do
that's what
not.
I was thinking.
Right, that's for single family and duplex.
First and
Correct.
second residential.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So your recommendation then would be to leave it out? And if they're going to put them in, then,
They're going to figure that out.
Then we'll bring it, then I'll bring
Then we'll
it
bring
back
it
through
back.
as
Okay.
an amendment to the site plan.
okay, so again, Corey, could you amend your motion to leave out the carports?
Just restate the motion.
Okay, I'll restate the motion. This is motion for approval for the site plan review for proposed senior housing and townhome development at 680 Mike McCarthy Way.
With staff conditions?
With staff conditions.
With staff conditions.
With staff conditions, correct. Thank you.
Okay,
You need a second?
sure. Sure.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion carried. Okay, number 8, items for next agenda.
I'm not sure,
Okay.
quite honestly. I've
Okay.
had quite a few items come through, so we'll be in touch.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're done.
Thank you.